there an image I can put here? Just any art I've ever made? Maybe. Hello, Alastor. Welcome. Maybe I could turn the music down just a bit, because I'll be a little bit quieter than usual. Let me know if I'm too quiet or, what have you. But does this one fit? No! But I love that drawing. Doesn't YouTube understand that I love that drawing? Oh, shush. You guys can't even see what I'm looking at, but I can see it. I guess it is a very big drawing. Sure, okay. Did I put the Comey can't communicate? Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, fuck it, why not? How utterly confusing. Just using a drawing of Comey, an anime that I've seen one episode of. That one episode seemed pretty cool. I have inside sources that tell me that Comey anime has like a really good first episode and then the rest of it is kind of boring. I don't know though, because I never actually sat down and watched it. You tell me, Comey experts out there. Comey. Yeah, it's Comey. Yeah, Comey. Yeah, I'm right. Comey. Comey Can't Communicate is one of those animes that I remember being like a big meme for a while. Hey, Mario. And hello, Orphle. Yeah, I remember Comey Can't Communicate being like a big meme where people were saying like, oh, don't lewd Comey, she's too like pure. And I figured they were being honest for some reason. Like, I figured the point was Comey it's not like fun to, make horny art of her. I thought that was literally the case until I spoke to my friend who is a fan of Comey, and they were like, no, it's so easy to lewd her is the thing. That's why people don't do it, is because it's so obvious. I'm like, oh. All right, well, then I clearly I don't know anything. Okay, so this is the how I make this comic. And pretty much how I make every comic now is I first do it traditionally just on a piece of paper. Because for some reason, when I'm working on paper, I focus way less on high detail, and I'm just thinking about how this is going to be structured. I don't think too much about like detail, because when you're drawing, objection. Hello, Aiden Cooper. Welcome. In the morning time, for those of you that have maybe not seen my art streams yet, in the morning time I'm a little more quiet. Firstly, because I just woke up, but also because my roommate may still be sleeping, so I try to be try to be quiet for the poor man. Let him do a heckin' snooze if he so desires. But yes, when you're in a drawing program, like you can zoom in down to the nearest pixel, and that makes me really anal about detail. But when I'm working on paper, you really cannot do that unless you just want to like take a piece of paper and go put it against your face as close as possible. So in this way, it helps me focus. It helps me think like, okay, this shot, it's just his eyes and nose. Just his eyes and nose. Actually, you know what? I'm going to zoom out a bit more. Now, I've yet to be in a situation where I'm collaborating with someone on a comic. I've collaborated with people on animation. And when you do really any kind of collaboration, you want people to understand like what you're going for. Like if you're just in charge of like animating, you're just doing like the movement of a scene. If it's like confusing chicken scratch, but it makes sense to you because you have the scene like in your head, you have the vision, that's not going to work if you then pass it off to someone else that's going to make it all detailed. So there's a lot of like communication I realize that goes into like collaborative projects. When it comes to comic books, they're no different, but I've yet to be in that situation yet. And I feel like this practice that I do, where I do it all like traditionally, and then I bring that into Clip Studio Paint, and I just start like, shifting around pages and being like, oh yeah, this goes over here. Oh, I want this hit like smaller than when I initially drew it. I feel like that's going to be too confusing for somebody else. Like if I just made a draft on paper and then sent it to like an editor to start doing detail sketches, I'd have to really change my system because they would be so confused. Hello there, GGV666. Welcome. Doing a little bit of morning drawing, working on this cool comic. This guy is being shouted at by his dad, really wholesome stuff. I'm getting like horrifyingly close to finishing this. This is like the second to last scene of the entire comic. It's kind of a long scene though, and it's only just begun, but still. Like, once this comic is done, that's kind of it. I mean, when it's done, it's not actually done. So, I'm about done with like the final pages of this comic, but a lot of the old pages I made like 2 years ago, and I've become a much better artist since then. Like this is a comic that's 150 pages long. It's a very, very big project that I undertook. But in doing so, I became a better artist over those 2 years. Unfortunately, what that means is, and I'll show you this, some of the earliest pages of the comic, it's not that they look bad, but they just don't look as good. There's something just kind of like off. Also, this guy is this guy. They just look kind of different. The art style has changed a little bit. Also, just the way I set up shots. Also, he's shorter. I made him shorter in the other pages. What the hell? Yeah, like composition-wise, I wouldn't change too much, but there are some things that I would want to adjust. Like, all these pages look good, but once I'm done with every other page, I need to go back and I need to fix some stuff, mostly the character design. So yeah, so what I'm saying with all this is that once I get done with the rest of these pages, I'm going to... I won't actually be done with the comic. Then it goes into what's called the revision stage. But man, once that's done, holy shit, I'm gonna have a published book. Jesus. That's pretty fucking wild. I'm still not fully accepting that yet, but we have a publisher. I should also be clear, this is not my story at all. The story I'm working on is the next comic that I'm going to be doing, mostly just for fun, but I would like to put it up on like Webtoon or something. The next like comic project that I wanted to do is something called Worlds a Stage, which is based on like D&D sessions that I've done with my friends, but it's not quite as like hacky as you may think it to be. I specifically picked up out of the myriad of D&D projects that I've hopped on, or I shouldn't say projects, games. They're games. The myriad of D&D games that I've picked up, specifically World of Stage just has probably some of the funnest characters, this nice interesting lore, but most importantly the party, just by pure accident, is a really fun ensemble cast. You got like this little hobgoblin man that is like, his name is Hobbs, because of course it is. He's hunched over and hiding in his trench coat, but when it comes to combat, he suddenly stands up and is this big, buff old man. You got this monk named Orazog, who's this like peace-loving Buddhist that can turn into a giant fuck-off bear, which is just wonderful. And he's delightfully wholesome with this kind of like misguided innocence. And yet despite that, tends to have scenes of tremendous wisdom when certain characters need it. You got this really bratty, bitchy priestess woman that hates the undead and is just super fucking sassy and hilarious. Then you got my character. Oh, sorry. The priestess is named Theta. And then you got my character's name is Kon, Kon, and he's a traveling writer that goes from town to town writing stories of his adventures and nailing them to the postboards of towns. And that cast just really like does it for me. The idea of these guys like working off of each other is just surprisingly pretty great. All of them have their own little like unique secrets and backstories, and they all come together when this mysterious jester person called Rig comes into town and starts like wreaking havoc. And Rig's insistence is that everything that's going on is all just like a big stage play, and that a being that we have yet to see yet is controlling this like greater picture. So already we already have one character in the cast who's like a writer and is heavily involved in like writing a narrative kind of stuff, but you have Theta the priestess, who's like this hyper logical person. So when all this like voodoo metaphorical bullshit's coming in, she isn't a fan of that. You got Orazog, who is just like this peace-loving guy who has the strength to make changes to like actually kind of stop this. So he's invested in just trying to stop the murder. And then you got Hobbs, who's just this confused old man who actually depressingly has horrible memory problems. And so throughout the story, he kind of keeps forgetting where he is, which makes room for like some funny moments, but also is still kind of a tragic thing he just lives with, and that is addressed in the occasional scenes. So yeah, but we've had about like maybe 10 sessions of this so far, and it's already gotten some like wild twists and turns. I like it quite a bit. Just as a story, I keep wanting to see where it's going, and it's already gone some pretty good places. So my plan is that I'll take the first session and adapt that into a comic. And then I'll put it up on Webtoon and see if people like it or not. If they do, then maybe I'll make some more. If not, maybe I'll just keep it to myself. You know, maybe it's one of those things where I think it's real cool, but like others may not. Anyway, what's chat saying? In my history of fanfic writing, collabs tend to fail more often than they succeed. Yeah, well, and what can really get in the way is when the person that's in charge has to undertake like a lot of the responsibility, and they don't realize just how difficult that's gonna be. Like, you gotta do like a lot of managing and micromanaging that maybe you just didn't realize you were going to hop on. Like, one of the earliest issues that I had to get over when I was doing ThoughtCan is that I had to bother people all the time. Like, I consistently had to keep calling people to be like, you know, when can you record? we need to make a day for this. We don't have like an episode for this entire month. We need something. Answer me back. And it's like that makes you feel like kind of a shithead, but you need to understand that like that's what you need to do for a project. And furthermore, the people that you're working with should understand that that's an acceptable and appropriate thing to do, and that they're not being bothered, they're being reminded, you know? It's like collaboration requires a huge level of professionalism on your part to be like, you know, yeah, I signed up for this. I am, in a sense, like an employee, and I need to perform, you know? And I don't even say this as like a massive expert myself. Surely I'm very guilty of being horribly unprofessional, even in the face of much more like actual paid gigs. But that is a lesson that I just had to learn the hard way. Did a My Hero Academia fanfic that ended up being a big bomb that used 8 character casts, and all but one was submit your own character fan donation. All the people who submitted characters I had to take consisted of very generic powers that didn't seem interesting enough. Yeah, that's another thing. You can't always rely on like strangers to like write a compelling narrative or character for you, which I know is completely counterintuitive to what I just talked about, where I'm using a D&D campaign as inspiration for a comic, but my point is that doesn't typically happen. And also, even then, my interest in World of Stage was completely by accident, and a lot of what makes it interesting is entirely up to me in the comic sense. Because like a D&D campaign can be really messy with a lot of downtime, you and your buds just like chatting with each other and making like dumb jokes. It's up to me adapting it to a comic to cut all that shit out and just make it like a normal story. Like if anyone is familiar with like My Brother and Me, or actually more specifically, the D&D campaign, The Adventure Zone, that was also adapted to a comic. But The Adventure Zone's a lot more jokey than like World of Stage. So they openly acknowledge that there is that this is a D&D campaign. They even acknowledge like the Dungeon Master is like this all-knowing god figure, and they use it for laughs, and it works. It really does. But in the case of World of Stage, there just isn't occasions for that. It's just not really paced in that way, so that's something I need to work around. The thing is, though, it's already like funny and charming without having to use the guise of like, oh yeah, this is just a D&D campaign. Don't worry, we can just like be joking, really light. I can see myself adapting it pretty naturally. Anyways, I'll stop giving you the hard sell on this. It's just been on my mind. Issue number 2, barely anyone sent in female characters. I took every female character I was sent, and one consisted of a character that was stupid broken, and the creator was a borderline sociopath in caring about their character. That happens. That does happen. You get really attached to your characters, though. I understand that. It's not very professional, but it is something that you just do. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with you like writing a character and like loving them just as yourself, as just a person, but as someone that's trying to create media that everyone can enjoy, it's going to be kind of different. You got to remember that you're making something for an audience and not just yourself. If you wanted to make a character just for yourself, you don't even need to put them in a narrative. You can just make fan art of them, which is what I do with my other D&D character, Tip Tip, a character that I don't think would really be interesting to any kind of grand story, but I like him. If I wanted the plot to work at all, I had to coordinate with the creators of the characters because they were technically involved now because their characters were in the plot. Yeah, this would be a lot of dues that you would need to run by. In fact, that's something that I'm doing with Worlds of Stage, is that I'm adapting characters that my friends have made, and my first baby steps into this project, I had no idea how to do that. And I was doing a remarkably bad job of it too. My friends would get on me about the character design and stuff, and that was something that kind of bothered me at first because I wasn't used to that level of collaborative criticism. But it's something I just needed to get used to. It's something I just needed to understand was important. Because if you're going to get the character right, you need to consult with the creator of it, because they would know way more than you would. Also, I don't even know how the story's going to end, so it's like if I start designing or writing a character in a certain direction, that is not the direction that the original creator wants them to go in. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, a story, any kind of story or narrative or whatever is going to be, it's going to be very personal, you know? Stories come from, or at least what I feel like a very good story comes from one author, maybe two. And some of the best creations are ones made from one mind. Now you can, of course, have a big studio and still make something very personal and good, but everyone talks about the Miyazaki films. Those feel incredibly personal and like they're coming from this really specific vision. Now, Studio Ghibli is, of course, a studio and there's multiple people working on it, but the vision is in the hands of the director. They are coordinating with all the characters and the scenes and the pace of the story, the mood of the story. That's entirely within them because they have that vision. If you were to do something like what you're talking about of submit a character, I put them in. Probably the only way you could do that is background character or very minor role character. Or if you suggest a character and then all of a sudden that just strikes gold in the mind of the director, and they're like, wait a minute, this character you just brought up, I have a great idea for them. Oh my god, that was perfect. But that does not happen every time. It's far from it. That's some of the rarest shit you could possibly do. It does happen, yeah, and you can make some fun with that, but it's not something that you can count on. Really, I think the lesson to take away from submit your own character to a narrative type deal is that you really shouldn't expect other people to write characters for you. I'm not saying that's what you were doing, but that is sort of what that is. And I'm very guilty of it as well. Trying to rely on other people to come up with ideas for me, so that I could, so that I had a baseline to work off. But you're still basically just relying on somebody else to come up with something, and then being disappointed when they, of course, don't know what you want. Because it's yours. It's your vision. It's never going to be something that somebody else can do for you. You got to put in that work, that creative work. Got to let them juices flow. Imagine, for example, you're holding a big carton of orange juice and you're asking somebody else to open the cap for you. It's you can't, because as soon as they touch it, they got their sticky fingerprints all over your orange juice. You're not about to drink that. And what if they try to open it with their mouth? Well, now it's you can't even put your mouth on that orange juice container anymore because they got their sticky, icky germs on it. Maybe you can, but you'll probably get sick from it because you don't know where they've been. So what you do is you take that orange juice, you slam it on the fucking ground, let the juices come out. Completely lost the thread of this metaphor, but from the start I don't really think it was going anywhere. When I told the person who was super obsessed with their character that the character needed changes, he got super defensive and described the person and described the character as person in my head, not character. Yeah. So it's like you take characters very personally, when they are very near and dear to you. Minor changes like that can feel sort of offensive. It's almost like you're asking that person to change aspects of themselves, even though you're obviously not. But that's just a psychology that I feel you get into. And this is, also this is just completely conjecture on my part. Seems to be where people are coming from. That's where I was coming from with situations like this. Yeah. I mean, in my experience of applying for jobs, people need very specific artists to help them with what they're doing. And I think the same goes for anything, even outside of being an artist, like being a writer, being an editor, sound designer, any of that. Because you can have like baseline skills, but also just be... Oh, wait a minute. Am I working on a page that I don't need to? Oh, shit. Oh, no. Well, I mean, it's not a problem, but damn, this is not my page for the week. These are, god damn it. Yeah, well. Got an early start. What time is it? Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. Now we're doing it. Go. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? 4. Okay, 4 more to sketch. Great. Yeah, but if you're going to bring people on for like a collaborative project, it's good to know that this person understands what you're going for. That they have like similar vision, or they can at least like interpret your vision well. Like I briefly worked for a church, and my art style is a little more like grungy, very like anime cartoon inspired, but can get really kind of like rough or edgy, comedical, that kind of stuff. If you've seen my art, you may know what I'm talking about, or maybe I'm just absolutely awful at explaining myself. But the point was, the designs that I made for this church, it's not that they didn't like them, but we needed to make like some heavy revisions again and again until we finally got to the place where we were at. And ultimately, I did not end up working there long, which was, kind of kind of disappointing. The people over there were very nice people. They were very cool people, but what the director said to me, I thought was very encouraging. When he ultimately had to let me go, he said, like, look, you are a very, very good artist. It's just different from what we're trying to do here. And I think that's always sort of sat with me. Like, okay, it's not enough to just be good on in a objective sense. Like, oh yeah, I know anatomy. Oh yeah, I know color design. It's also like, are you a good fit for this project I'm trying to do? Are you good at making like children's media, or are you good at making hyper realistic faces? Are you able to do animals? Like, there's a lot of skills that you can hone when it comes to your arts, and these very specific job titles are necessary. If you can fill one, hey, that's awesome. That is great. Yeah, this comic, I vibed very well with the author of the comic, and he's allowed me to do a lot of my own decisions on like character design, character scene direction. I'm pretty much taking the script that he wrote and just straight up adapting it how I see fit. I'm in charge of like all the directing, shot composition, all that. I'm the only artist working on it, but because of that, I feel like I'm really connected to the story, and I'm allowed to contribute a lot to how it's to how it's going to go down. Like, for example, there's this like father character, and it doesn't quite come across in this sketch here, but I just decided, because he's meant to be like a big, imposing, abusive father type fella, I wanted to make it that he was so much larger than the rest of them, almost in like a Kingpin sense. Kingpin from Enter the Spideyverse, where it's like, it's almost kind of ridiculous at times, but I think it really does add to his uncomfortable, domineering demeanor. Because these kids that he's yelling at are probably, I think they were like 14 or something. When you're like 14, you're like growing, you're hitting your growth spurt, especially if you're like, you know, a lad going through your boy puberty. It's like you're growing, but you're still not that big. So adults are still pretty big to you. And that can be frightening. Yeah, it's something a little more like subtle, not entirely obvious at first. But this gentleman is the tallest guy in the entire cast. And I always want to have like shots like this. Like, even now, this hand is not big enough. And our boy over here, Jack, needs to be smaller. Ain't technology beautiful? I can just like move hands around and stuff. Oh, good morning, Luigi. Luigi, welcome. It's the morning time. It's nice and chill out. You know, I'm drawing cool stuff over here, like, you know. And it is nice. It's a good time, you know. Nice chill morning. It's a little bit gray out, isn't it? The weather as of late. Listen to me talking about the weather. Oh man, the weather today is crazy. But I live over in Washington, Skedaddle, and what we say over here is if you don't like the weather, wait a couple minutes and it'll change. Because we get some really sporadic weather, but that's never been more the case than yesterday, where I drove off to my part-time job and it was like bright and sunny, and I was like, oh, wow, ooh, amazing, cool. And then 30 minutes later, I'm walking around on like the outside, still at my job, and I'm like outside, and the wind is just fucking beating against me, trying to like blow me over. The wind was so crazy, it was like picking up cloth and like rattling fences near me. And I was like, Jesus, what the jeez? Is a hurricane about to happen? Is a tsunami about to pick up and wash me away? Like, what the hell? And then, about an hour or so later, it's sunny again. And then, an hour after that, it rained. So it's like, Jesus, man. Just fucking... I mean, I've lived here my entire life, and it's still one of those things where I'm like, why? Why are you like this? But actually, you know what? I can tell you some of that, of why. I can explain, like, a little bit of that. So off in Washington, we're near what's called the Cascade Mountains. Which are, if you're looking at a map, they are east of Washington. And as you're moving from Washington to like Idaho and Montana, you get this huge cut of mountains that go blah, 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 blah. And then on the west side of the mountains is all the towns like Seattle and, you know, everything else. Bellevue. And when you get weather from the east side of the United States, like massive clouds and stuff like that. Hurricanes are like wind that could form into a tornado. All that weather slams against the Cascade Mountains and gets destroyed. That's true. That's true. Because the Cascade Mountains are so high up that they poke against even the clouds. So clouds will just mash against these big heavy mountains and break apart. And the wind will catch so hard that it'll like shoot up and slow down. So before any of the like really crazy weather comes to Washington, it has to get whacked and concussed against these Cascade Mountains. And then how it comes out on the other side is kind of random, kind of dazed. Like if you're in a nice flat area like Arizona or something, it's flat on all sides. So you're more prone to have like tornadoes, twisters, because there's nothing to stop the wind from picking up and doing something wild like becoming a twister. But when you live in a place with lots of mountains and trees, those catch the wind in micro and macro doses. And it stops them from becoming a hurricane, a tornado, etc., etc. So yeah, living in the mountains is pretty good. The chat highlights whatever your username is. So every single I. Oh my god. I am so sorry, Luigi. Where can I read the comic? So this comic is going to be published once it's done. I assume it's going to be published in some stores. I was not told where though. I have an older comic, though, called Electric Forest, which I guess you could read. It's ultimately incomplete, but it is on Webtoon. Electric Forest, if you're curious enough. I liked it. I liked how much effort I put into it. As for this comic, though, it is not gonna be available until it's completely done. It's about 150 pages. And the good news is that I am almost done. This is page like 130. And so like 130, 40, 50. And that's it. Then we're done. So yeah, I'm getting wonderfully close. Beautifully close. In fact, I believe I'll be completely done with the bulk end of these pages by April of this year. So that's only just a few months from now. Which that is very cool, but it's also very horrifying. Because once I'm done with this comic, I'm like, fuck, I need income. Now, you know what is nice? Is that this comic is going to pay once I get... I mean, it's not all about the money, but I still need money. And this comic is... I am going to make residuals, royalties, off of however many are sold in stores. So if this is sold online or whatever, you mofos better buy it, because I actually will get residuals for it. I get 80% of the revenue, which is very nice. That's a deal you are not going to get very often as a comic artist. Most deals comic artists get are absolute garbo. Or not garbo, but they're just not as good as that. Oh, no. Also, how long did this take? This adventure began in 2021. So far, it has been 2 years. Hello, Skylar. I'm doing a little morning work. I said I was going to do some more morning streams. Communism shaking your audience down. That's absolutely right. Any second I can, I'm always hustling. Nah, I'll buy it and spread it. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, actually, speaking of money, I need it now more than ever. I freaking, I recently learned I have like medical bills that I need to pay. Not to suddenly make this all about me. I don't need to go into like really personal stuff, but basically I just need to pay some stuff. So I've been looking for more commission work as is. Because this pays, I get paid for every 10 pages of this comic as I'm working on it. And then I will get paid royalties afterward. But in between that, I'm also looking for other work to kind of fill out my budget, my monthly budget. It's a hell of a thing to ask people for like commissions for just like character art. Especially when a lot of people don't follow you for your art. They mostly follow you for like voice acting or game reviews you did like 10 years ago. But look, I still gotta try. Gotta make that goddamn money. Oh, good heavens. La la la. Bum bum Is this preventing copyright? Can I still monetize this if I'm just like blah 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 over the clear Nintendo music? Maybe. I mean, anything's worth a shot. Oh, good heavens. I've been saying good heavens lately. What am I, like a freaking grandma from a fantasy novel? Oh, good heavens. But it sounds funny to me. Like, good heavens is such an adorable, like, wholesome thing to say when something terrible happens. It's also a really good diffuser if someone's, like, actually upset. Like, they're getting, like, they're talking about something that's actually really bugging them, really, like, actually a huge bother in their life. Because sometimes you want to be careful when people are talking about, like, heavy subjects. You don't want to further rile them up. Clearly, they need to come down from this. So oftentimes, if you've ever been in that situation, you probably know, like, you need to use really, like, benign language. Like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. Or, like, oh, man, I'm really sorry, Try to be there, be supportive for them. But I noticed saying, oh, good heavens, and other odd things like that are just confusing enough that it comes off sort of calming, I guess. At least that's the impression I get. Because sometimes when I'm caught doing that, I'll make a person that was otherwise kind of angry or frustrated chuckle. And I'm like, yes, I've done it. Hey, thank you, Skylar. Thank you for buying the thingy. Oh yeah, no, you go to work. I got work in like a little while, so I'm only gonna be doing this for so long. I told myself I wanted to do some more morning streams. I'm trying to stream as much as I can without it absolutely consuming my life. Because I want to sort of like fill out my channel in between the big uploads. That's kind of been my goal with this channel since the very beginning is, oh, I like to upload stuff, but I always want to fill the time between with little thingies here and there. And I don't even know if that does me any good. It's just kind of a thing I like to do. Is like, oh, I want to stream, or oh, I want to, I don't know, do something where I'm just interacting with the audience in some way. Just kind of feels good. I like to entertain, even if it's on a micro level like this. It's, you know what? It's a creative outlet. That's what I'm trying to describe. Yeah, so even when I'm just doing something simple, like working on art or whatever, I just kind of want to fill that out. Oh yeah, that was a yawn. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo. And what game should I play next for the streams? I have quite a few that I can pick from. Did I ever do Hades on a stream? I really, really love that game. I recently beat Hades for the first time, and I won't tell you how the rest of the game went after that, but I have some terrible news for all of you. The game doesn't end when you beat the final boss. But the game does change. And that's all I'll say about that. I really do love Hades. I love the way it's been executed. What's the word I'm thinking of here? I'm not a huge fan of roguelikes in general, because a lot of them just sort of feel pointless. But then I'll be hit with a certain roguelike that does something that just engages me like crazy. Like Voidigo. I really like it because I just love the moment-to-moment gameplay loop of going through these different areas with silly guns and fighting enemies. It just feels really fun. Highly recommend Voidigo if you like roguelikes, but it suffers from the same problem I think every roguelike has, which Hades kind of rectifies, in that every time I die in Voidigo, I'm like, fuck, alright, you know what, fuck this, and I just like turn it off. Not that I hate it, but I'm like, you know, man, I made such a dumbass mistake, alright, that's it, I'm done for the day. This is my excuse to turn the game off. Which can be, you know, a good thing. Maybe it's time to take a break. But it could also be a bad thing. Like, I haven't turned on Voidigo in a while, and I think that's slightly part of it is like, I don't really want to go through a Voidigo loop right now. I know it's going to kind of end the same. I'll do it when I feel like playing Voidigo again, when I want to just do that gameplay loop again. Where Hades differs is in that no matter how many times you die throughout the game, the story is structured in such a way that the story continues. It's not like you die and go back and you have to like really restart. You're just restarting the loop of trying to escape the underworld. But when you die, everyone remembers those deaths. So you're not resetting anything. You're still progressing the story. It's actually a good thing when you die, confusingly, because you're able to go back to your hub base and you have characters to talk to. The story advances. You know, you need to play the game for a long time before you start hearing repeat dialogue, you know? Some things will fall into a routine, like certain aspects of the dungeon crawling do start to feel a little repetitious, and you do start to get into patterns of like, oh, I specifically want to get this build for my character because I know that has consistently worked for me over and over, so that's what you're kind of aiming for. But even then, you have a lot of options for creating builds. That adds to the fun. Even if I have like a one build that works like perfectly and lets me run through the game really quickly, which yes, I do. It's the one where you get the base sword and then you look for the hammer that upgrades it and allows you to gain 2 points of health every time you attack someone. 2 points of health every time you attack someone. That always works for me. That's consistently made me. That's what had me beat the final boss, was that build. But even then, if I can't find that one, there's still a lot of options I can choose. There's still so many things I can try besides that. So anyways, yeah. Hades is great. The thing that keeps me coming back, though, is the story. Like I said, even when you beat the final boss, game still doesn't end. Story is still going on, and I can keep playing it until I get a proper ending to the story. Wonder if Holy Moly also... I don't know, but I'm gonna start using Holy Moly now. I'd say 50-50 art streams and game streams. I don't know what other kind of streams I'm interested in doing. Sometimes I think about Jerma when I think of stream possibilities because I've never watched any of his. But I know he was always famous for just doing anything other than playing a video game. So I think about those sometimes, like IRL streams or whatever, where I'm just like bullshitting around. And they interest me. They do. The thing is, the first thing that comes to mind is like movie watch-alongs, which I'm terrified to do because of copyright infringement. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm still working on it. Maybe one day I'll be able to coordinate. It's also a matter of coordinating my camera. Like, I know Jerma like built a birdhouse in a stream one time. I only know this because there's an animation of it. But if I was to do something like that, I'd need to coordinate my camera and be like, okay, where am I going to put this? And like, how am I going to set up the table, this and that, For these kinds of streams, it's really easy. It's like, computer on OBS, webcam that I never move. We're good. We're done. That's it. Did I ever end up playing Inscription? No, not yet. But I will. Sorry, I caught a glimpse of my tonsils there. Skyward Sword did eventually come to Switch, right? Like there's a Switch port of Skyward Sword. Is it good? Because I remember first getting Skyward Sword, like I really, really bought into the hype of Skyward Sword. I do believe there was some crazy hype around Skyward Sword. But the thing about it was that I was one of many that did not care for it. I thought like it was just really boring and tedious. And you know what's unfortunate? I didn't play very much of it. I bought this stupid game and I didn't even play very much of it. Played like maybe an hour, maybe? Like I got to the first temple and was like, this is boring. It's because they were forcing me to dash or douse all the time. Like just like look for stuff. Oh, hold on. Donkey Kong music. Yeah. Yeah, they kept asking me to do stupid shit like, oh yeah, go and douse for, these like small, useless items. I didn't remember what the hell I was dousing for, but they made you do that quite a lot as if it was like a really interesting like gameplay mechanic. Scanning. It sort of reminded me of like the scanning in Metroid Prime, which I also barely played. Hello, Frederick. What's good? But yeah, my experience with Skyward Sword, I did not care for it. But I'd always be willing to give it another try. Especially if it was on the Switch. The Switch is just a console that's... I feel more properly designed because it just has a regular-ass controller. I'm okay with the Wii controller. I'm even super nostalgic for the Wii. It's got, like, a lot of lovable classics on it. Mario Galaxy, obviously. Let's see. Wii Sports, obviously. Red Steel, obviously. You know what? I'm taking a small break. I'm just gonna look up Wii games because my arm is I'm a little tired. List of Wii games. No. I want Wii games with like a picture on them. Yep. Okay. Bloop. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, some good old Wii games. So we got New Super Mario Bros. Okay, no, that one was like, it was not bad, really, but it was boring. I played that on my 3DS, and I was like, bleh. I was just like, well, whatever, all right. Mario Kart, yeah, that was good. I didn't have it. A friend had it, but that was good. It was great, even. Skyward Sword, I already said my opinions on it. The game was really good, but I dropped it after it started to reuse the same boss fight for the third time. Yeah. Yeah, it's like stuff like that I would expect on like an N64 game. You know what I'm saying? But for the Wii? No, it's like you should be more intelligent than this. Like, come on. Super Mario Galaxy 2, I've never played, but people tell me that it's sorry. People tell me that it's wonderful. It's like the best. It's the best version of Mario Galaxy. Xenoblade Chronicles. People love this game. It is one of those things like Danganronpa, where people are just like, this is like the best shit ever, and you need to play it. And everybody else that's not into anime is like, ugh, I hate Xenoblade. It is for weebs. So me, who is a weeb, I'm just sort of over here like, I don't know. Is it trashy? Is it like... I don't know. And I'm too afraid to buy it and play it. Call of Duty Black Ops, why are you here? Is this just proof that there's no good Wii games? That I'm seeing Call of Duty Black Ops, a first-person shooter that is built for a computer or maybe an Xbox? I refuse to believe that game is good on the Wii. I mean, well, Wii shooting... I don't know. Wait, the Metroid Prime trilogy? Oh, that sounds good. That sounds like a good game. All 3 games on the Wii? And you get to aim with like the Wiimote? That sounds awesome. How did I not know that exists? Yeah, no, I think I'm going to hop on the Switch version of Skyward Sword one of these days. I just want to give it a second chance. Better Dimension, Epic Mickey. That Epic Mickey was so fascinating. It wasn't very good, though. Resident Evil. For the Wii, for the longest time, that was the best version of Resident Evil before the PC port came out. Now that's probably the best, but what was that? Like, that was like a solid maybe 10 or more years of the Wii version just being the best because you could aim with the Wiimote, so it was perfect. You could walk around and aim with super accuracy. It was great. You can still play Black Ops on Wii. Oh, wait, no. What? There's still online servers for the Wii? And you can play Call of Duty Black Ops. That is ridiculous. I love that. Ugh. Donkey Kong Returns. That one is pretty great. I played it on the Switch though, but I heard that like the Wii version was fine. It had a lot of like stick waggling, which got kind of obnoxious, but I heard that it was still good. I like the Switch version. Got it to work back in 2020 at least. Wow, I love that. I hope it's still the case. Super Paper Mario. Super Paper Mario is fucking awesome. I hate the way people dismiss this game. I was enchanted by it. The characters, great. The gameplay loop of it being like a traditional Mario side-scroller where you stomp on enemies, but with a twist where you can flip to 3D, great idea. That was innovation. The Paper Mario series lately has had like zero innovation. Super Paper Mario has to be the last time they were like weird and it was good. You know, I did hear that Switch Paper Mario, what is it? Origami King? I even have that game. I've not played very much of it though because I didn't like the combat. Super Paper Mario though, premium. To me, that's the last good Paper Mario game. GoldenEye 007. Oh, Twilight Princess, whatever. That was a GameCube game. The GameCube is, hold on. Can I look this up without getting in trouble? eBay. Shit. I had a total brain fart and then Legend of Zelda. Twilight Princess GameCube, there it is. Yo, look at that shit. It's like $100 fucking dollars. Okay, this one. Wait, case and manual. Is there no game inside? That's not working. Yeah, look at this. It's like $100 for this shit. You know what though? It's kind of gone down in price, hasn't it? I remember back in the day, this would be like up to $200, maybe even $300. GameCube ports of GameCube versions of Twilight Princess were just like super duper rare. I guess this is still pretty expensive. How expensive is, you know, for old time's sake, how expensive is Earthbound? Can you play Resident Evil 4 on Switch with gyro aim? No, you cannot. That would be bananas, though. What the hell? What? Okay, yeah, first of all, yeah, Earthbound, Super Nintendo, 1,800. Yeah, okay, that checks out. Wait, look at this. Which one am I gonna buy? Is it gonna be Earthbound for 1,800 or is it gonna be Earthbound for 370? Like, what? At least this one I get. It's only the shell. You can't even play it. But like, why would I buy it for 1,800? Also, what the shit is this? Earthbound Halloween Hack? Is that the one with Megalovania on it? Earthbound Radiation version. What does that mean? I mean, hey, if I had $30, I could go and play it. I do have a Super Nintendo. GameCube games are stupid expensive. Wait, you know what? While I'm here. Beyond Good and Evil GameCube. I just have like a feeling this is going to be expensive. Oh, not really. Huh. I thought you were a classic. Oh, don't put that disc just like on a wooden table, you monster. Let's see. Oh, wait. In that case, only third party are reasonable about Super Mario Sunshine. 90. Okay. That's only a little bit cheaper than... I mean, it's a GameCube game, though. That is still expensive, isn't it? Super Mario Sunshine GameCube. 2002. Heavy scratches. $20. This shit is not going to work at all. $20. It's like I'm paying $20 for just a little plastic disc. What am I gonna do? Just like throw it? I can look at it and appreciate the good old times. Ooh. Look at all these beautiful games. Oh, Beautiful Joe. I mean, I wasn't looking at a Wii... Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Bro. Oh my god. We want to talk about a game that has a great gameplay loop. Hulk Ultimate Destruction, I feel, revolutionized Hulk games. There's never been another Hulk game after Ultimate Destruction that was as cool as it was when it came out. It's kind of dated nowadays, but at the time it came out, bro, holy spit. How much is Luigi's Mansion? Ooh, too bad I already have that. How much is Hulk Ultimate Destruction? Ooh, too bad I already have that. How much is King Kong? $10. Sorry, King Kong. All right, I'm back. Red Plumber, yes, Red Plumber Sunlight from the Nintendo Play Square. Hello, T-Pose. We were looking at classic Wii games and I got off track. What's Pandora's Tower? This game, Pandora's Tower, that looks like the type of game that I would look at and go, oh, that's like whatever. That's just like some stupid game. I don't know. Who cares? And then somebody somewhere contacts me, or I just find out that it's like this classic that has like 5 sequels and is a gigantic hit. But only in Japan. Oh, also, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I loved Brawl. Y'all can fuck off. I loved Brawl. I had so many happy memories playing Brawl. I also had happy memories playing Melee. But the two are like one and the same to me. I thought Brawl was so fucking cool, and I played it with my friends religiously. The level editor. The level editor in that game, it was so good. I would make so many stupid ass maps. I'm sure so many people did this with Super Smash Bros. I made just a hill and then a flat plane at the bottom of the hill. And we called that map King of the Hill. If you could get to the top and stay on the top until the timer runs out, then you were the definitive winner. It didn't matter who was like, how many times other people were killed. If you were standing on top of the hill when the timer ran out, then you were the winner. And that was so good. Oh my god. We just have maps like that. We'd have like stupid maps full of like hallways with like spikes on all edges, so if you fell in one, you would just go through this series of hallways being hit by the spikes forever. Oh, Endless Ocean. I remember the Game Grumps playing that. I certainly didn't. Oh, I played Spider-Man 3 on the Wii. It was not good. But that surprises no one. What the fuck is Mario Super Slugger? Is that what we call Mario Baseball? I love it. I've not heard of anyone calling it Mario Super Sluggers. That's adorable. Oh, Inscription. I'll look into it once more. Again, I was thinking of like, oh, what game am I going to play for the stream? That could be one of them. Message me on Discord. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, money is still tight. If you found a game on Steam that was like, I don't know, in like the lower ranges, I don't know if I'd be able to get you like a $60 game as a gift. I do feel like I want to give you like a little something though. I can consult your wish list later. We'll check later. We'll check later. The Mario Soccer game? Oh, hi. Hi, L. Hello. How you doing? Used to own a Wii from 2012. He mainly played it a lot. Oh, yeah. My brother and I co-op through the story mode of Brawl. The story mode of Brawl was fucking awesome. Yeah, that was great. Unlocking Wolf without him caused a fight, and we still joke about it to this day. You unlocking Wolf without him. Damn, son. Well, I didn't mind. I didn't mind. I'm not embarrassed by it. Blood Brawl 2, I made a stage that was just an entire big box with only one hole at the top, making it super hard to knock someone out and making super chaotic at... Oh my god, yeah, the damage percentage would be like super duper high. That's great. Holy shite. WarioWare smooth moves. I gotta play this. I've never played a single WarioWare game, but I watched Oni Plays play it. Play, I guess, like the Switch version of WarioWare. And it looked great. It was like, whoa, damn. Oh my god, Lego Star Wars. Fuck yes. I mean, I played this on the GameCube. I'm sure the Wii version's like perfectly fine. But oh my god, those Lego Star Wars games were great. They were so creative, and I was a big Star Wars fan growing up, so it was just a delight going through all the games, seeing their little interpretations of each scene. Oh, Sonic Unleashed on the Wii? On the Wii? I think the best version was the PlayStation, wasn't it? Or the PS3 is probably the best version of Sonic Unleashed. Isn't the Wii version literally the worst? I remember Game Grumps playing it. I think they picked the Wii version because it was the worst. It was decidedly the worst port. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? Hell yeah. Indiana Jones. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bleach Shattered Blade. Fuck. I used to go to, do you guys remember game stores? Do you guys remember when we used to go to game stores? I went to this, it's gotta be GameStop, I guess. I wandered into a GameStop, or maybe it was my local Play and Trade, and I saw this Bleach game. And that was the very first time that I was like, damn, you can do like anime games? That exists? Oh, what? I can't get rid of this like beautiful. Yes, I can. There it is. That was the first time that I was ever like, there's such a thing as anime video games? This has got to be rad. And nowadays I'm like, there's no way that's good. There is no way. It is like a shitty fighting game or something. There's no way Bleach Shattered Blade is good. But I did love Bleach growing up. I thought it was super cool. And visually, Bleach is still pretty cool. It's just the story kind of falls off after the third season. Man, Dragon Quest. I'm still playing through 8 here and there. Wait, I'm sorry. Back to the Future? Oh, I know. This is that Telltale game. Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's on the Wii. Yeah. There was a lot of games for the Wii, it seems. I played this Back to the Future game on PC. It wasn't that bad. People give Telltale a lot of shit, and I understand why, but this Back to the Future game, it was fun. It was cute. It was very short and pretty easy to get through, but I liked it. I really want to play Wario World. Probably emulate it because there's no way Nintendo is re-releasing that shit, I tell you what. I'll tell you what, you're probably completely right. Oh yeah, no, I don't even have to imagine. I played Sonic Unleashed on my PS2 back when I had a PS2, or back when my PS2 worked. I still have it. It just doesn't work. And it was all the night sections. It's so confusing. They try so hard to make Sonic interesting, but they go about it in new and amazingly shitty ways. Now, the latest Sonic game was quite good, But before that, they had all these like stupid decisions like, oh, let's make him a werewolf and it's like a beat 'em up brawler. Or, oh, let's give him like a fire ring and I have no idea what that does for him. Let's give him a sword and then he has really slow slashing sections. Like anything they can possibly do to slow Sonic down. It didn't work. It just didn't. I'm sorry, their story collection really fell off. Aspects of Sonic Unleashed were fun, sure, like the running sections, I thought were all perfectly fine. And I think that's when they started refining the modern Sonic with his, like, you know, dashing to the left and right when you're moving straight forward, that kind of stuff. All of that would eventually build the latest Sonic game, which I do like. So, yeah. Also, that Scooby-Doo The Spooky Swamp, I played that on a stream, and it was fine. Sonic Colors. People say Sonic Colors was actually pretty good. Never played it. Castlevania Judgment. I remember when I saw Castlevania Judgment, I was like, what's going on with Castlevania these days? I watched Angry Video Game Nerd at the time and was like, all these old Castlevania games, it looks so badass. This new one, is it badass? It stars Light Yagami? And he has like big roided out demon arms? Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, Pikmin. No, this is just the GameCube port of it, yeah. Zack and Wiki. What is the deal with Zack and Wiki? I saw like reviews of this, and I would see it like in stores all the time. What was the deal with Zack and Wiki? Was it like based on an anime or something? It has like this odd, it looks good. Like it looks really cool visually. But like, where did it come from? What is it? It's like it's like Taken the Power of Juju, where like it was meant to be a pitch for a TV show. Is that what Zack and Wiki was supposed to be too? It looks so good. But all it is one game and that's it. They never made another Zack and Wiki game. I don't know. How about that? Oh, who remembers Link's crossbow training? And you had to get that specific, like, Wii attachment that made it, what was it? It made it look even more like a gun. Whatever that thing was. I was over at a friend's house. They had the crossbow training and the super scope, and I saw them, like, playing it. And I was so jealous of them. Nowadays, it's like, who cares? Nowadays, so many like innovations that came to the Wii kind of pale in comparison to what we do nowadays. And Mad World. They were trying to be really edgy with Mad World. I don't think it was bad exactly. But it was a tad odd. I remember around that time was when people were saying, oh, Nintendo is the baby company that makes baby games. And Mad World almost felt like an answer to that. Like, oh, this is a bloody game that has, like, murder and decapitation and it's violent. Knight's Journey of Dreams. Now, this is a Knight's game on the Wii. Is it just a port of the Dreamcast version? If that's the case, I'd love to play it at some point. I like Nights into Dreams. Oh, now that's a game I should have gotten for my Dreamcast and played on stream. All right, now we're starting to get into some... Oh, Klonoa. Hello. Hello, Klonoa, my favorite game. Yeah, now we're starting to get into more games that I don't really care about. Oh, No More Heroes. Okay, yeah, that was another classic. No More Heroes. Another game I never played, but No More Heroes. It's there. It exists. Oh, Rabbids. Hell yeah. Oh, Red Steel. Hell yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, A Shadow's Tale. This is not a very interesting game on its own, but it gives me such nostalgia for old zero punctuation reviews. I think A Shadow's Tale was supposed to be a story where you play as literally a shadow walking along these empty environments as you try and reclaim your body back, I think. No, it's a remake, similar to what Namco did with Klonoa. I'd still play it. I'd still, give it a shot. Shoot my shot, shoot my goo. Cursed Mountain! Yeah! PBG's, earliest reviews, he did Cursed Mountain, and it wasn't especially interesting. Oh, nostalgia. All this shit. Dead Rising. I didn't have an Xbox growing up, so I could not play Dead Rising when it initially came out. So I had to play the Wii version. And Chop Till You Drop is very accurate because it was a very chopped down version of Dead Rising. I think it straight up removed massive chunks of the OG game, but I still loved it. I loved it because they included all the funny bosses. They had the weird priest. They had the clown with chainsaws. They had the supermarket manager. I mostly was there for the bosses, which nowadays I hate bosses, but back then I was like, dude, these bosses fucking rock. That was all I cared about. That, and that you could pick up every item. Those two things. They did it for me. Oh, Green Lantern, great. House of the Dead? Wait, what? Is this the original House of the Dead? It is. Yeah, because Overkill is over here. Original House of the Dead for the Wii? I have to get this. Oh my god. Oh, I love the original House of the Dead. I love it so much. The two heterosexual life mates running around with their guns being like, come on, Andy, we have to stop the zombie menace. Okay, Alfred. And then the ending boss, where they're just like, this is the final battle. Oh, those cutscenes fucked me up. Red Steel 2 is pretty damn good, and I've streamed it maybe twice now. That's a good game. That's a good game. The first Red Steel they did, Ubisoft did a big poo-poo in their pants. They absolutely fucked it up with the first Red Steel. I'll admit it, I play it with nostalgia, but that first one sucked. This one was great. Red Steel 2 was awesome. Y'all get on my level. Okay. Now we're starting. Doctor Who. Okay, yeah, we're starting to get into weird territory. Oh, you know what? We're getting close to me needing to go to work, so I'm going to call it for the stream tonight. Hope you guys like this little chill down moment. Is that Lois Griffin? Okay, that's the end of the stream. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. Y'all are great. And yeah, take care of yourselves. I'm going to do more of these morning streams when I feel like it. So yeah, goodbye.